Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 12. I am Janice Cobham coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Buhari insists he is double nomination of Shettima. Plus, U.S. President Joe Biden makes Charles Brown new chairman, Joint Chief of Staff. We will bring you details of these headlines and other stories shortly. A very good afternoon to you and welcome once again to the news at 12. First, in the news this afternoon is Nigeria's leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, who has insisted that he is leaving a legacy of free, fair and credible elections in the country. Speaking at the launching of the biographies of the mother of Emir of Kano and Emir of Bichi, Mariam Ado-Bayero, the president maintained that the election that led to the emergence of Bola Tinubu as the president-elect was free and fair. Buhari, who was represented by his chief of staff, Ibrahim Gambari, noted that he is finishing his 8-year term in office strong and well, leaving behind many legacies, which include the foundation of a free and fair election that has produced the president-elect Bola Tinubu. The president added that the late Mariam Ado-Bayero's name deserves to be mentioned in the World Book, Guinness Book of Records due to her unique qualities. Away from that, the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has taken Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima on a familiarization tour of his wing of the presidential villa in Abuja. Speaking to newsmen after the meeting, Shettima said he came on the instance of Osinbajo to exchange they want to ensure Nigerians feel the impact of their administration. Moving now in a separate development, the federal government has officially released the white paper report of visitation panels to 42 higher institutions. Recall that the release of the white paper report was one of the demands laid down by the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU during the union strike in 2022. Parts of the visitation panel's term of reference was to review the performance of each institution assigned in the area of governance, academic standards, quality assurance, management of finances, relationship between the management and the staff, as well as the structures of the schools, infrastructure, and instructional materials. The visitation panels were also asked to look into the financial management of the institution's compliance to procurement laws and investigate the application of funds, particularly the special grants and loans made for specific projects, among others. However, the government reportedly failed to release the report. The outgoing Minister of Education, Adamu, yesterday presented to the public the white paper reports of 42 higher institutions, noting that the effective running of institutions depends on the recommendations contained in PDP's suit challenging the alleged double nomination of Kashim Shettima. The Apex Court agrees with the lower courts that the PDP lacks the local standing to institute the case. Justice Adamu Jauro, who read the judgment, noted that the PDP Shettima withdrew his Senate nomination on 26 July 2022 and was subsequently replaced. On security matters now, the Nigerian police have deployed personnel to protect the presidential villa, provide security at and around the Eagle Square in Abuja, and man all Nigerian borders, seaports, and airports ahead of the May 29 inauguration of President-elect Bola Tinubu. The first public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, disclosed this in a statement, saying operatives would equally be deployed to man the entry and exit point of the capital city and other critical government installations. Adejobi said personnel for the inauguration were drawn from special forces, which includes team and the Special Tactical Squad, among others. Also deployed by the police are helicopters and drones for aerial surveillance in Abuja and its environs, as well as water cannons and armored personnel carriers. Meanwhile, the Managing Director, Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC), Samuel Ogboku, has promised to strengthen the agency's relationship with the Nigerian Army to ensure sustainable peace in the oil-rich region. He stated that the peace currently enjoyed across the Niger Delta was as a result of the efforts of the Army and other security agencies that worked tirelessly during the restive days in the region. The NDDC boss, who spoke during a courtesy visit by the new commanding officer, 29 Battalion Port Harcourt, Aliyu Manga, said the interventionist agency would continue to provide the needed support to ensure smooth operations by security agencies in the Niger Delta. In another development now, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has urged the incoming government of President-elect Bola Tinubu to take steps to increase the country's revenue base. The resident representative IMF Nigeria office, Ari Aisen, who said this during a virtual forum on the Nigerian debt situation, also advised the incoming government to drastically reduce dependence on debt to fund expenditures. According to Aisen, to resolve the debt issues of Nigeria, the president-elect needs to concentrate on revenue and expenditure. And moving now to education, the Joint Admission and Matriculations Board (JAMB) has commissioned a 1,000-seating capacity mega computer-based test center (CBT) in Kaduna. The center says that the center, set to be the largest in West Africa, has 4 units each of 250 seaters with the capacity to conduct the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination for 4,000 candidates per day. While inaugurating the 1.19 billion naira CBT Center, the Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai and the Minister of Education Adamu hailed the JAMB Registrar Ishaq Oluyede for his prudent management of resources. According to them, the JAMB boss has proven that Nigeria will progress if public institutions are manned by upright, honest, and dedicated public servants. And moving on to Africa, where the African Union (AU) has warned that the continent risks becoming a geostrategic battleground for competing big power interests. The Union Commission Chairman Musa Mohammed said Africa must resist the consequences of intensifying global rivalries, which, according to him, threatened to create new Cold War. The chairman's warning was given on the 60th anniversary of the formation of the African Union's predecessor, the Organization of African Unity. Reports say China, Russia, and the United States have all sent their top diplomats to Africa this year, and Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba is currently on a mission in the continent to enable men working employees to leave from neighboring Kenya, which accords male working employees for vanning for approval. On the foreign scene now, President Joe Biden has named Charles Brown Jr. would replace General Mark Milley, whose term ends in September. Reports say he would be the only other black officer holding the top post in U.S. history, besides General Colin Powell, who served from 1989 to 93. Since Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is also black, it would be the first time ever that 2 African-American men simultaneously held the most senior civil and military positions at the Pentagon. Meanwhile, Biden also thanks General Milley for his years of service for leading the military through the most complex security environment the world has faced in a long time.
So today, I have the honor of introducing my nominee to be the next chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Charles Q. Brown, Jr. General, welcome. General Brown's a warrior, descended from a proud line of warriors. Over the past 3 years, as Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Brown has become known for his signature approach: accelerate, change, or lose. Accelerate, change, or lose. General, you're right on. As I've often said, our world is at an inflection point where the decisions we make today are going to determine the course of our world for decades to come. And to keep American people safe, prosperous, and secure, we have to move fast and adapt quickly. We have to maintain and combat credible force capable of deterring and defeating any potential threat. We have to manage our competition with China and meet the reality of renewed aggression in Europe. We need to make sure we retain our competitive edge in an age where emerging technologies from AI to 3D printing could fundamentally change the character of conflict. And that's why 3 years ago he was confirmed by the United States Senate 98-0. I urge the Senate to once again confirm General Brown with the same overwhelming bipartisan support for his new role as Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
As along the foreign scene, at least one person has reportedly died and 15 others injured in a missile strike on a hospital in Dnipro in Ukraine's east. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed the attack and said authorities were working to rescue others from the hospital. He noted that all necessary authorities were involved in the cleanup mission. Recall that the regional governor Serhiy Lysak said the city had earlier been attacked by rockets and drones. Meanwhile, Ukrainian authorities said they shot down 17 missiles and 31 drones launched from Russia overnight. And still to come in the news. Flying Eagles coach Boso to make changes in Eagles vs Brazil Under-20 World Cup. Just stay with us. Still being there. Many thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of the stories. On the business news now, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has disbursed 173.31 billion naira to beneficiaries under its 100 for 100 policy on production and productivity since the commencement of the intervention. According to the bank, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele disclosed this in Abuja after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting. He said that under the 100 for 100 policy on production and productivity, the bank disbursed the sum of 13.81 billion naira to 3 projects in the manufacturing sector. According to the guidelines for the implementation of the initiative, the CBN fixed the maximum loan amount that a participant could get at 5 billion naira. The CBN stated in a guideline that the initiative would select 100 private sector companies with projects that have potential to significantly increase domestic production and productivity, reduce imports, increase non-oil exports, and overall improvement in the foreign exchange generating capacity of the Nigerian economy. And still in business now, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria MAN and the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association have said the recent increase of the monetary policy rates by the Central Bank of Nigeria will compound the imminent recession in the manufacturing sector and negatively impact its operations in many ways. It also said this would lead to a high cost of production, which will lead to higher commodity prices and inventory of unsold manufactured products. Also, NECA urged the government, especially the Monetary Policy Authority, to tackle inflation by addressing the issue of imported inflation. The Director General of NECA, Wale Oyerinde, in a chat with newsmen, said the current trend in price development would continue to be monitored by the bank with greater collaboration with fiscal authority to address the drivers of inflation. We move to health now, where the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition to enhance access to safe and nutritious diets in the country. GAIN Nigeria Country Director Dr. Michael Ujo disclosed this in a statement in Abuja. He explained that the MOU, which focuses on school children and vulnerable households, seeks to support the effective implementation of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program initiated by the federal government. Dr. Ujo noted that it would also support other efforts aimed at enhancing access to safe and nutritious diets among children of primary school age, children and women from vulnerable households, generally classified as poor and vulnerable. According to him, the partnership will foster an all-inclusive collaboration to address malnutrition and improve food safety in the country. Dr. Ojo said the federal government and GAIN are committed to working together to explore other viable opportunities for resources and inputs that would ensure the actualization of the NHGSP core objective. And moving further now, still in the health sector, health pharmacists have lamented the scarcity of drugs produced by GlaxoSmithKline in Nigeria. They attributed the unavailability to supply chain shortage, scarcity of forex, and the impact of COVID-19. According to them, these factors lead to an unprecedented increment in drug prices by over 300%. Speaking with newsmen, the President Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria, Adewale Aladiagbulu, specifically said the scarcity is due to supply chain shocks and the impact of COVID-19. Olawale said the scarcity is having a significant impact on patients' care, adding that the products have gone up more than 300% as against what they used to sell, saying that the products are not readily available. The pharmacist, however, said that the association is working with industry leaders to resolve the shortages. In sports, Manchester United have secured Champions League football for next season after a 4-1 win over Chelsea at Old Trafford. Casemiro scored the opener for United in the 6th minute of the game, and Anthony Martial doubled United's lead just before the halftime break. Bruno Fernandes added United's third from the penalty spot after being fouled by Wesley Fofana. Marcus Rashford scored a fourth before João Felix laid consolidation for the Blues. With this victory, Manchester United have secured a spot in next season's UEFA Champions League. And still moving on now in sports, Flying Eagles head coach Ladan Bosel is expected to make a number of changes in his starting lineup for Saturday's Group D clash against Brazil. Bosel's charges are already through to the round of 16 after victories against Dominican Republic and Italy. Brazil bounced back from their opening game defeat to Italy with a comprehensive 6-0 bashing of Dominican Republic. The Flying Eagles top the group with 6 points, while Brazil and Italy is second and third with 3 points each. Both teams can still topple Nigeria on the standings, but Bosco is unperturbed with that possibility. Bosco said after his team's 2-0 victory against Italy that the players who have not played in the first 2 matches will be given a chance to showcase themselves. On the entertainment scene now, Nigeria's singer Adekunle Gold has released 3 new singles as he continues his fine form. Adekunle Gold has established himself as one of the artists whose imagery, music and persona exquisitely complements his music and sets him apart as a superstar, bringing excitement to Nigeria's pop scene. According to reports, the award-winning star has been in fine form in 2023 with his hit single Party No Dey Stop, reaching the top spot of Turntable Top 100. The 3-single pack comprises Do You Mind, Omoiko, and the earlier released Party No Dey Stop. And still on entertainment, Chop Live Sound System, the Afro-dance music partnership comprising of DJ Edu and Mr. Easy, have released their debut project titled Chop Live Volume 1 Zanzi Chronicles on the Chop Live Limited Empower Africa Today. On this first installation of the Chop Live music series, Chop Live Sound System goes beyond and between Cape Town and Johannesburg, South Africa, where the songs were recorded in 2022 and 2023, tapping in with some of the region's most exciting talents. The 14-track mixtape takes listeners deep into the South African club scene that is currently producing some of the world's most thrilling music, with appearances from featured artists including Focalistic and Nazi On by Force, Ami Faku, Moonchild, Senali, Major League DJs, Mellow and Sleazy, Nkosazana, Daughter, Two Swore Short, and Stopify Moats and Imos on Ziwala. And that's all we have for you at this moment. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms and ensure to subscribe to your YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtv.ng. You have been listening and watching Spectrum News at 12. My name is Janice Cobham. Do have a good afternoon.